don't even have the words for it. I don't know what the fuck just happened. Oh my god. Triple H said that tonight's Elimination Chamber was going to be a night to remember. Boy, was he right. I don't have the fucking words for it. That ending was the most disgusting thing the most disgusting moment I've ever seen. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. I don't even have the words for it. The worst case scenario, and it became a reality. Oh my god. I guess we ought to kick things off with the Women's Elimination Chamber. I don't even know. I just don't know. We'll get to that bit a little later on in this video, but we kick off the night with the Women's Elimination Chamber that featured Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez, the NXT upstart. Now, obviously, Liv, Bianca, Alexa Bliss, and Bayley were, Bianca, Bliss, Bayley, and Roxanne Perez were locked in the pods, and Liv and Naomi kicked off the match. But right as the bell rang, out comes Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill comes back, and we all thought, right? We all thought that she was going to target Liv Morgan for what happened back in November. But unfortunately, that was not the case, as she targeted Naomi out of nowhere, literally beating the holy hell out of each other, and Bianca was in tears. Wanted to get out of the pod to help Naomi and figure out what the fuck is going on. Jade Cargill just completely decimated Naomi to the point where Naomi was medically unable to compete in the chamber. So unfortunately, she became the first woman to be eliminated, and so the match continued. Then Bayley shows up. Then Bianca Belair became the first woman to exit her pod and enter the match. And with how distressed she was, I'm surprised she was able to even compete. Literally, I'm in shock that Bianca Belair was able to compete at all with what happened involving Jade and Naomi. But the order of entry post Bianca went as followed: Roxanne Perez, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss. Now, the order of elimination, other than Naomi, actually became very interesting, between which, again, Naomi became the first woman to get eliminated, then Bayley, then Roxanne Perez, and it came down to the final two. Then it came to the final two, Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. Honestly, I think the biggest highlight from the Women's Elimination Chamber, besides the return of Jade Cargill, my opinion has to be what Bianca Belair did to Liv Morgan from the top of the pod. Took her hair whip, her braid, whipped Liv Morgan as it literally, and to the point where it sounded like something out of a Tom and out of a fucking Tom and Jerry episode. That's how nasty it was. How insane it was. And yet, even with the distress, even with everything that happened inside that chamber and everything that's happened to her over the last few months, Bianca Belair was still able to hit a KOD onto Liv Morgan. And yes, Bianca Belair wins her second Elimination Chamber to go to WrestleMania and will challenge either Rhea Ripley or Io Sky after this coming Monday on Raw, which at this point it's hard to tell. No one knows. No one really knows. No one really knows how, who really is going to win between Rhea and Io. This is basically this rivalry, this matchup, this collision, if you will, between Rhea and Io and Bianca dates back to their time in NXT. Funny enough, since we're on the topic of Roxanne Perez, it dates back to their time in NXT where Rhea had so many battles with Bianca and Io, from their time in NXT. Bianca and Io had their matchups, Rhea and Io as well. So you got a bit of mixed combustible elements within that trio, and I think this coming Monday is gonna be very, very interesting, to say the very least. Especially the fact that I know for a fact that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are probably gonna get involved into that matchup, and because that Bianca Belair, excuse me, has won the Elimination Chamber to go to WrestleMania, odds are they may end up making it a fatal four-way between Rhea, Io, Bianca, and Liv, which is possible, but we'll have to wait over time. Overall, though, I think I just, aside from that, this was by far one of the best women's Elimination Chamber matches we have seen in a very long time. And I'm gonna have to give this one an instant classic 5 stars. Honestly, I feel like if Jade Cargill hadn't have gotten Naomi eliminated, the question is who truly would have won. At this point, it's hard to say, and I feel like it still would have been Bianca Belair at the end, because it's as Bianca said, both Bianca and Naomi, they said it best. If one gets eliminated, the other has a chance of winning it. So I feel like it really wouldn't have mattered. Bianca probably still would have won. And now the question becomes this, right? The question becomes who turns heel? That's the question. Does Bianca turn heel, or does Rhea Ripley turn heel? Here's the thing: Rhea Ripley had just turned babyface last year, right around the time of SummerSlam season. So it's pretty early for her to turn heel. Bianca Belair, on the other hand, well, she had been the face of the women's division for so long. I feel like now would be the perfect time for her to turn heel and spice things up a little bit with that rivalry. But still, 5 stars, not going to complain. Next up, we have a tag team match that featured Nia Jax and Candice LeRae against Tiffy and Trishie. Yes, you heard me right. Probably the only time I'm ever gonna say that, so do not get used to it, folks. And I'm talking about Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, the Hall of Famer. This is weird, right? Because this was Trish's first match in WWE. I want to say, if I remember correctly, I have it actually in my old book over here. The very first book for PLE predictions was all in this book. So if I remember right, if I remember right, I believe it was Fastlane, or was it Payback? It was Payback. It was Payback 2023. Yeah. It was Payback 2023, which was where we saw Becky Lynch defeat Trish Stratus in a steel cage. So that was the last time that we saw Trish Stratus in a WWE ring competing, and this was a huge moment for Trish because this was the first time I think since SummerSlam 2019 that she had competed in her hometown of Toronto. So it was pretty awesome to see Trish Stratus back in the ring, and I'm starting to think that she might end up doing this again, like do what John Cena had done, and that's show up every now and then and give the audience a show. Which speaking of John Cena, I can tell you one thing right now: the men's Elimination Chamber and what happened at post match will shock you to your very core if you did not watch. So if you guys were unable to watch the Elimination Chamber, continue watching this video and you'll find out later on in the video. But overall, this was actually a pretty solid match. I mean, being able to see Trish Stratus back in the ring and to team up with a woman that idolized Trish Stratus for the longest time in the current women's champion that is Tiffany Stratton, I think it's awesome. And the fact that Trish Stratus was able to, or rather, the fact that Tiffany Stratton was able to help, Trish Stratus overcome the odds that is Nia Jax teaming with Candice LeRae, I think was just incredible. And again, this is the proof that I made. This is the point that I made. I think in my prediction video this past Tuesday, I talked about how Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus may or may not be able to coexist compared to Candice and Nia. Nia Jax got hit with the moonsault thanks to by Candice LeRae. That's the point that I'm making, that 25 years in this business, 25 years in the business can actually do that to you. Trish was able to move out of the way, and the closing moments of the match, Tiffany Stratton hit the prettiest moonsault ever onto Nia Jax. 1, 2, 3. 3 count. Trish and Tiffany pick up the dub, and it's weird and it's crazy because Michael Cole said it best on commentary that Trish Stratus has never lost a tag team match in her hometown of Toronto. Tonight, the streak continues. Overall, though, actually pretty solid. A bit weak. I feel like the match was a bit weak in my opinion, but I don't think that's at the fault of Tiffany Stratton. I feel like it's at the fault of Candice LeRae, and the reason for it is because for the longest time, especially from her time in NXT, she never really had a lot of like big marquee matches. I think some of the big marquee matches that she ever had was mostly competing inside War Games, and even this past November, that was again my point exactly. Competing in War Games is like one of the only marquee matches she's ever had. But also think about this: at this event last year, when the Chamber was in Perth. Australia, which I still can't believe that I was able to stay up all night watching it live. How wild is that, right? How crazy is the fact that Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, now obviously Indy no longer with WWE, was able to have a match on the Countdown show was just incredible, absolutely incredible, especially in Indy's home turf in Australia. It was absolutely incredible. But when you think about Tiffany Stratton and the Elimination Chamber, that was what catapulted Tiffany to win Money in the Bank and to cash in on Nia Jax. So the question becomes, could it have ended differently? Yes. I feel like if Candice LeRae wasn't Nia Jax's bestie, if you will, and it was someone else, like, say, just as a random name, like, I'll say, I don't know, say maybe Chelsea Green or something like that, or somewhere along those lines, then maybe Nia and her team probably would have won. But I still believe both Trish and Tiffany winning the match, absolutely solid. 3 stars. I'm gonna be nice, give it 3 stars. Again, I really don't think it could have ended differently. But again, that's at the fault of Candice, because she's been more of a mid-carder, but now she's just randomly just got thrown into the big leagues, like way up there. I think it's too soon. My opinion, I think it's too soon. Yes, Candice LeRae has been in the wrestling business for a hot minute. She's been more of a mid-carder, and the Women's Speed Championship, I think proves it. Basically, it literally proves it, in my opinion. But moving on to a match that is unsanctioned between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, best friends of 2+ decades turned bitter rivals of 2+ decades. And this was by far the craziest unsanctioned match I've ever seen. If you guys recall, was it TakeOver Chicago 2017, 2018, like somewhere around there? If you guys remember, we saw Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano tear the house down in that unsanctioned match. Excuse me. And it ended with Tommaso Ciampa hitting Willow's bell on Johnny Gargano onto the exposed wood of the ring, picking up a massive victory over Johnny Wrestling. Fast forward to now, if you guys thought that unsanctioned match was crazy, this was by far the most disgusting unsanctioned match I have ever seen. This was absolutely horrendous. Steel chairs, tables, trash cans, beating the hell out of each other from within the stands of the WWE Universe in Toronto. Power bombs through tables, pushed through tables, hit in the face with chairs. It was nasty. They were literally trying to kill each other. Literally. And Sami Zayn even had the balls to bring in a steel chair wrapped in barbed wire. Literally, barbed wire. How? And yet literally, they hit their best moves on each other. A stunner to Sammy, a haluva kick to Kevin Owens, Blue Thunder Bomb, Fisherman Buster. They threw everything at each other, damn near including the kitchen sink. And it still wasn't enough until the final moments. Kevin Owens took a chair, wrapped it around Sammy's head, threw Sammy into the ring post, not once but twice, and hit multiple power bombs onto the apron, which is what helped him become NXT champion against Sami Zayn in the first place back in 2015. And that was it. It was a pinfall. That was it. Kevin Owens pins Sami Zayn. And just when you thought that Kevin Owens could not stoop any lower, he was about to completely destroy Sami's career by hitting a package pile driver onto Sami onto the exposed floor. But then you hear the song, I Hear Voices in My Head. Randy Orton makes his return to WWE after months of being away at the hands of Kevin Owens. And literally, we almost they were beating the hell out of each other. And Randy Orton was this close from punting Kevin Owens, but the officials and the referees were like, nope, you're good. You're good. You don't need to kick his ass anymore. You're good. You are good to go, my guy. And yeah, it was interesting. I don't even have the words for the unsanctioned match. I feel like, and it's weird because Adam Pearce actually even sent out a tweet just a little bit ago on X. He said, I regret giving them this match. He 100% regrets it, and he regrets life's decisions. And that right there was a life decision that he did not want to make, but he had no choice. He legit had no choice. Which now buys into the question, what's next for Kevin Owens? What's next for Sami Zayn? What's next for Randy Orton? Odds are we may end up seeing Kevin Owens and Randy Orton go at it at WrestleMania, which is possible, but we'll have to wait and see over time. As time progresses and as we draw closer and closer to WrestleMania, which we're now like less than a month away, which is amazing. But I'm gonna be a little optimistic, and I'm gonna give it 5 stars because it was nasty, it was horrendous, but it was an instant classic. Like, this was the pure case of brothers, right? Damn near blood brothers turning bitter enemies, right? Two guys who went on to WrestleMania in the main event and became tag team champions together. And then literally a year later, last year's WrestleMania, Kevin Owens was in a triple threat for the US title. Sami Zayn went on to become a 4-time Intercontinental Champion, and now this. I honestly don't know what to make of it. I think this is all because obviously, yes, this has a lot to do with the fact that Sami Zayn did align himself with Roman Reigns, with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso in the OG bloodline. Excuse me, heading into War Games. But other than that, this was just, I don't even have the words for it. But speaking of not having words, I am almost in tears. I almost bursted into tears with what we saw at the closing moments of the PLE. We move into the men's Elimination Chamber, which was the last match of the card. John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth freaking Rollins. John Cena, CM Punk, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul were locked in the pods. Drew and Seth started the match. Once Logan Paul's pod and Damian Priest's pod both got open because Damian Priest entered the fold, then Logan Paul did, then John Cena, and then CM Punk. So once Priest's pod opened and then Logan Paul's pod opened, McIntyre literally let his emotions get the better of him, and he literally became the first person pinned by Damian Priest. So not only did Priest eliminate him from the men's Royal Rumble match last month, but now he got pinned in the men's Elimination Chamber. That right there, in my mind, is definitely going to spark Priest versus Drew at WrestleMania, which is possible, but we'll have to wait and see over time. We'll have to wait and see. But Drew became the first person to be eliminated. Then Damian Priest got eliminated. Then Logan Paul got eliminated, and we came down to the final three: John Cena, CM Punk, and Seth freaking Rollins. Crazy enough, I never would have imagined that the ending, the final three, would be those three. 26 world titles between all three of them. John Cena being a 16-time world champion, CM Punk being a 5-time world champion, and Seth Rollins being a I think, let's see, two WWE titles, 2 Universal titles, an NXT title. And if I remember correctly, the world heavyweight title as well. So that's 6 world titles, over 20 titles between them. So let's see, 16. Yeah, 26. I know that some people don't believe that the NXT title doesn't count as a world title, but to me, it does. So 27 world titles between all three of them, and this was back and forth. The respect that Cena had for Punk was just incredible. They embraced, and they started to beat the hell out of each other, which we knew was going to happen. But it was just back and forth, and it was a 2-for-1 special. GTS onto Rollins, followed by an AA. Cena pins pins Rollins, and because of Seth Rollins, he hits CM Punk with a stomp, and John Cena made Punk pass out to the STF, and Cena wins it. Cena wins the Elimination Chamber for a record-setting, for a record-tying 4th time. So this was Cena's last Chamber match. That's now in the record books. And now the reality sits in. Cody Rhodes shows up. Then The Rock shows up with Travis Scott. I don't know why the hell Travis Scott showed up. I have no clue why, but The Rock basically said, "My arms are wide open. You're going to embrace me. I'm going to embrace you. I'm taking your soul. Everything's yours." Cody admitted that he wanted everything, but he admitted that he put his soul into that WWE title and within the WWE universe, and literally uncut, uncensored, no nonsensical bullshit, literally told The Rock, "Go fuck yourself." I literally lost my mind. And The Rock was like, "Okay, all right. You don't want to give me your soul? That's okay. I've got a backup plan." Now here's the thing, right? Go back to Bad Blood last October. The Rock shows up. He's on stage and does this. We had no idea what that meant. We had no idea whatsoever. We had no idea. We all kept asking ourselves, what the fuck is that? What the fuck does that mean? Why did he count to 3? What's the deal? That moment took place after Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns defeated Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Okay? Think about that. That was back in October in Cody's hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, inside the State Farm Arena. That was back then. Thinking about it now we know. Think about it, guys. John Cena embraced Cody Rhodes and looked at The Rock. And the moment The Rock did this, John Cena, of all the fucking things he could have done, he literally, he fucking sold out. He sold out big time. Big time sellout. I don't even have the words for it. Literally attacked Cody Rhodes profusely with a Rolex, with a championship, with the WWE title, with the microphone, and Travis Scott was helping him. And The Rock took off the weightlifter's belt that said Cody Soul, June 11th, 2015, and literally was just beating The Rock, just literally beating Cody senseless. And Michael Cole literally was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is bullshit." Literally, I can. I don't even have the words for it. John Cena has literally done the impossible. He did something that he could have done 10 years ago in 13 years ago with his rivalry with The Rock. He could have done that 13 years ago, but this was something that we had never seen him be in 20 years. In the 20 years that John Cena was a babyface, there was only one time that he was a heel, and that was around the time that he started WWE. And now this bullshit. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, it is. Yes, it is a dream match. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Yeah, we get it, but I don't have the words for it. And all of us collectively, every single one of us, myself, me, including me, we all were massive John Cena fans. Massive John Cena fans. But the fact that John Cena would do the impossible and turn heel and join forces with The Rock and Travis Scott, of all people, makes me wonder why. Why would John Cena do that? Maybe it really is. Maybe he really did sell out. Maybe he did, or maybe he only did it to try and push Cody Rhodes beyond his breaking point. So that way, when they do meet at WrestleMania, Cody's victory will be all the more sweeter when he defeats a legend in John Cena. The way I see it, I think every single one of us. I don't know about you guys. You guys can let me know in the comments. But I think we can all agree when I say that John Cena has lost all respect that we have for him. He literally did. I just don't have the words for it. But hopefully he will explain his actions on Raw when it goes to Buffalo. So, I mean, the men's Elimination Chamber, instant classic, absolutely incredible, 5 stars. I mean, Punk, yes. Punk, probably, yes. Punk could have won. I'm being real, CM Punk could have won. But I don't know. Just the card itself, 4 stars, not even going to justify it. I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I'm done. I'm literally done talking about John Cena. I'm gonna sign off. That's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more PLE predictions and results in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It'll also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.